All right. So today we're talking about Hilton leaning further into AI with its upcoming ChatGPT app, which is a pretty big signal as to where booking and discovery might be heading. We've also talked about this quite a bit. So the question is, are hotel brands starting to take back control of the funnel? We'll also get into Hilton's expansion across Asia Pacific, a shift in what luxury actually means in hotels, which I can't wait to talk about, and why budget airlines are now asking for help. Let's go ahead and dive in. All right. Well, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sarah. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you as well. Okay, we have to dive into this because both of us actually traveled this past weekend. And I thought it was actually kind of cool because both of us traveled with our parents. But why don't you let everybody know where you were? Because you did a pretty neat thing.
Yeah, it was very fun. I got to go to Moab, Utah, my first time there, which was amazing. So if you haven't been there, they say once you get that Moab dirt on you, you always want to come back. And
Ooh,
I can say that is true. Now I want to go back and check out even more stuff. And I got to do it for two things. And I want to talk about the hospitality around them. First, I went primarily because I got a Ford Bronco. I've talked about that a couple times. And what they
yes.
include is to teach you how to use it in like the most extreme conditions. But they built this whole hospitality community around their brand where they invite you to come in and learn in the morning, go out on the course with very experienced coaches, have lunch with all the people that you're doing things with on the side of a cliff, come back down this giant mountain over all these obstacles, and then have dinner and have s'mores around a fire pit once you're done to make connections and build that community up and learn from people from all over the country. So really cool to see how a brand that you say, all right, it's just a car, but how you can build something that's hospitality based at a beautiful hotel in an amazing setting. So that was really cool. And then I got to check out where we talked a couple times about Under Canvas here on the show. I actually got to go see it and talk to people staying there and meet the team.
How was that?
It's really cool to see how they created this. You know, we talked about last week, I think Best Western getting into the outdoor space and kind of seeing one of the originals. This was one of their first locations in Moab, which is very rustic. Like you're paying for a tent. And, you know, the lobby is another tent and they have snacks. There's no restaurant or breakfast. It's really just experience the outdoors. And then talking to their GM, Sarah, who's very nice. She said, you should check out our new brand, Ulum, which is the upscale brand from Under Canvas. And that has tents as well and suites and everything really nice within the tents. But it then has a restaurant and a cafe and a spa. So kind of elevated experience from what they heard from guests. So you can kind of start in at the original one and then move your way up. So it's really interesting to see how they've created that brand. So a lot of fun. I got to do it with my dad, all this stuff. So really great experience.
Okay, so tell me, inside the tents, did you get to take a peek inside the tents just to see like what the setup, like is there like a bed set up and like all of that?
Bed, beautiful bed, beautiful linen. But it's a tent. Like there is no AC, you know, it's screened in, great floor. Not all of them have bathrooms at the original location. So some you have shared.
Sure.
They do a great job. Everyone's very friendly. And I got to go and talk to some of the guests there. And one of them said, look, we've never gone camping. It was a little bit of an older couple. Said, we've never been camping. I have no interest in buying tents or learning how to camp, but we wanted the experience. And they paid $1,000 a night to stay at that place to have that experience.
That is wild. A couple years back, I went and I stayed at a similar type of property where it was tents but inside were the beds. And I mean, the beds were so comfortable. I mean, it really felt like you basically had hotel quality beds but you were just in a tent but it was a great experience. And then also communal bathrooms, but it's fine because it's like what you were kind of going for. But then obviously they have a more upscale version even, which is so cool to see what they're doing with
Illum. I'm more of an Illum type guy, even though they don't have AC. Like AC, I need that restaurant in the morning. Who's got my cappuccino? Can I come get that, please? Thank you. And they have all that. They have all that there, which is very nice.
Wait, can we please document this? You might be more high maintenance than I am.
I am. Listen, I want to make sure I have all the things that I need, but I did have. Listen, we can rough it too. I had peanut butter and jelly sandwich on the mountain with the Broncos.
Time out. You define roughing it as having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Yeah. I'm going to have that for lunch today in my house.
Where is the spa at? You're roughing it in your house. I can't believe it, Sarah. Where is my spa and coffee shop? That's why we're building Baya that way. I need to walk out of my AC-controlled unit into nature, go through nature to have my cappuccino, and then get my massage later.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, noted. Everybody knows. I just want to be very clear here who the high maintenance one is of the two of us. Okay. This is very clear.
I'll take it.
Well, speaking of high maintenance, I actually had a pretty fun, glamorous weekend. It felt high maintenance, but we were really lucky.
You're at a beautiful resort.
Oh my gosh, it was so cool. So last week, I got a last-minute invitation to go to Impression by Secrets on Isla Mujeres. So for those that don't know, Isla Mujeres is an island just off of Cancun. And so you fly into the Cancun airport, you take a catamaran to get to the island, to where this property is. The catamaran takes about an hour. So like you're out there for a while. And then when you enter the property, oh my gosh, it's almost like White Lotus style. The way that they all stand there lined up in their super cool uniforms that were like amazing outfits, just waving, hand over their heart, which, oh my gosh, I feel like if more hospitality companies could adopt that, it's so thoughtful, hand over their heart, waving, and they wave as you're like, first of all, as you're departing for, I mean, at least 5 minutes, like you can barely see them and they're still looking and waving. And then also when you approach as well, totally incredible, all inclusive. They were doing a special food and wine event. And so they had a wonderful celebrity chef there, Javier. I forget his last name, but he's really big in the Baja, Mexico area. So he came over. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. But I think the biggest thing and why this was so extra special is I got to take my mom on this, and I hadn't been able to travel with her in a while just because she's got other things. But you know, her doggy passed away a couple weeks ago, and she has been so bummed out. And so when this came up, I was like, you need a change of scenery. Let's go. And she was just like, oh my gosh, I haven't been to any place that's beautiful in so long. And it was like, not only was it incredible, but it was so perfectly timed. So a huge shout out to them. If you're looking for an all-inclusive, they do it great. So
shout out to Kate. She looked very happy in the picture. She looked like she was beaming. So it was awesome.
She was. Okay. So anyway, that's where we were this past weekend. By the way, if you guys don't follow us on all of our social media platforms, definitely check it out because we're sharing in real time.
Yeah, real time on fun things, all different platforms. And I see our comments may not be working here. So if you're commenting, we're working on getting some comments through. Let us know where you're watching from. We would love to see it. But before we get into the news, we have to give a shout out to our fantastic sponsor, Vrbo.
Yeah.
Make sure to check out vrbo.com/good morning. And if you have a eligible property, make sure to list it there, and you can earn 1 key cash for your next trip. So make sure to check out Vrbo. They have some great properties. Vrbo.com/good morning. Thank you, Vrbo, for sponsoring our show. We always love having you here.
Absolutely. So that's great. No, thank you, Vrbo. So, well, as you can see, we have definitely been busy out there experiencing all different types of hospitality, which I love, you know, from sort of an outdoors experience, which you had. I was experiencing all inclusive, also a bit of international. So that's always great to see. But let's go ahead and dive into our first topic here. This is big. So Hilton's ChatGPT app and select deals strategy. So this is kind of big news. So basically, Hilton is developing a ChatGPT powered app to enhance trip planning and, of course, booking, which is great. So, but what they're also doing is they are expanding its select deals model to really drive more engagement. This is huge because obviously it's Hilton. Yeah. They're a big company. So we've heard about this maybe with some smaller companies trying to dabble, but seeing Hilton do this is really a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, they're jumping into it. They see what everyone's doing. So not only are they creating their own app, which they're still working on, I don't want to say they're falling behind, but they realized we got to get on AI here quick. So they made their app that's coming out on ChatGPT. It's going to launch pretty soon that will directly connect. And I went on this morning to ChatGPT. If you haven't yet, listeners and viewers, they have like an app store, which you have to kind of go find on the left-hand side, go into the apps and search. Accor is there. Hyatt is there. Hilton was not there yet this morning. So I'm curious to see what date they show up. But they're also reworking their own app as this goes. So they're kind of breaking everything down again. Reading from their CEO, he really wants to make sure that they start from scratch, like we've talked about some other brands, and make sure everything connects and it's not siloed, and really working on making that experience great for guests. And just had me thinking about some of these legacy products that maybe don't have AI built into it, how they're going to start reacting, because every major hotel company looks like now is starting to break down their tech stack and rebuild it to one that's made for the AI world.
Totally.
It's really interesting to see. But have you been using any of the AI apps yet that they have built in ChatGPT?
No, I haven't. I feel like I tried to pop on one of the other hotel brands, but and then I didn't actually go all the way through with it. But I like that with this, they're working with OpenAI, Google AI, and Anthropic. So I like that. Again, they're not trying to be just dependent on one platform, which is smart. But again, I mean, this is huge, because I mean, they're really trying to get sure that they're just competing more directly with OTAs and obviously the AI platforms to make sure that they are everywhere that they need to be.
Yeah, and here's a quote from Chris Nassetta, the CEO. He said, "We made the decision to really completely blow up all of our legacy architecture and make sure that our core systems and otherwise were cloud-based, open source, microservices driven, which means a totally modern tech stack that has incredible agility." So they're really going to break everything down to see what they can create brand new. So I'm excited to see if they can really do this. It'll be interesting to see how they pull it off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is big. Again, it's really big because it is one of the big brands doing this. So, wait. So, have you done? I mean, you asked me that question, but have you actually like played with any of the AI, the extra?
I play with them. I just don't see myself yet booking direct. I really think that what's going to happen is, you'll have all these apps to connect to. But a lot of people don't want to download the apps. Just like you don't want to download an app on your phone. You want to do things native based. So I think it's going to be working better as they really connect to ChatGPT and all the different platforms and say, all right, I want to book this kind of hotel at this kind of rate, find it for me, get me to the place, and I hit okay. That's where I think it's going to start happening more and more. But I could see it on our trip just recently with my dad. He's much older than me, and we were walking around the streets of Moab saying, hey, I'm on the corner of Main and Center, what's a restaurant around me that I should go to? And whatever it served up, here are the reviews, versus how you would search on Google, like, hey, restaurants near me, and then look at the reviews.
Sure.
It's just a different way of searching. So it's really interesting to see how it's going.
Yeah, I think that you mentioned it. Sorry, you mentioned it. Like, I think you hit it spot on. It's like, unless people are downloading the apps, like,
that's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's the friction point. So they need to be almost like automatically integrated. So I'm curious if that'll be the next step.
I think so. Let's see. We got some comments coming in here. We have Alonzo, who's new to the show. So Alonzo saying, commenting from Stockholm, Sweden. Do you TikTok live engagement in the hospitality industry is going to be a thing? Do we think? I think so. Yes. I think it's going to happen very soon. I started testing it. I don't know if you've started yet, Sarah, but now.
What did you do?
Now that I've gotten monetized on TikTok, you can start getting creator commissions on your videos and things just by tagging the location without having to do anything. And I think that's going to happen more and more on live. So like if I was live at a certain hotel in Moab and I was doing the live show there and getting creator commissions, I think that would work. Like if you're talking about that show or that hotel in Mexico and you're live from there, I think that's something too. So yeah, I do think it's going to be big.
I do have a caveat to that because I agree with you. But, and I love that you brought this up, Alonzo, because I've had this discussion. I mean, first of all, I've been thinking about this for years, was even in pre-development to develop an app that basically did this. But here's the thing, how to figure out how, if somebody clicks on the link, if they don't purchase right away, because it's very different. If it's like, oh my gosh, I like your sweater, I'm going to buy your $40 sweater. That's a very easy purchase versus, oh my gosh, you're at this incredible a property in Mexico. I want to stay for 3 nights. What? Then they have to figure out the dates and this and that. And it's like a $5,000 purchase. A $5,000 purchase is a very different planning period so I'm curious how they figure out how to bridge the gap for these higher end products, experiences, or whatever. I mean, next thing you know, you can buy a car online, but there's certain like protocol.
How do you track it? Yeah, how do you track who's sitting there? And Will from the back, like attribution. How do you track it? Will's telling us from backstage. It's hard, but if anyone can figure out, I trust the tech gods out there with AI. They're figuring it out for us. And then Paul Manzi, trying to choose the right AI tool is quite a fool's game right now. Working with all tools is a non-negotiable moving forward. It's true. I'm curious to see. Every week it seems like they're all one-upping each other. Every week I get announcements seeing who's going to do things. But for travel, I think it's going to go really well. And talking about some unique products out there in the world, hey, listeners, guess what? We've got another sponsor for the show, and we appreciate you because you're always watching and driving us forward. We're excited to give a shout out to our sponsor, Built. This episode is brought to you by Built. And look, Sarah has her card there, and she had it before we had them as a sponsor. They're helping restaurants and hotel, food and beverage teams better understand their guests and create more personalized experiences that drive repeat visits. So if you care about loyalty and guest experience, it's worth checking out. Head to joinbuilt.com/GMH. So that's joinbuilt.com/GMH. Thank you, Bill. Show that card one more time. Look at that thing.
By the way, so this is actually one of their newer cards. For those that aren't familiar with Built and might be wondering, what's the deal with Built? So you can use this card to pay rent, pay mortgage, and earn points. And it's fantastic. I've had it for years. It's a great way to earn extra points. I mean, look, you've got to pay for these things. And if you can't pay for something if you can't pay for your rent or your mortgage by a credit card, they actually have an ability that you basically pay by a bank account. So they've got it all figured out. So look, you've got to pay to live anyway. You might as well earn points every month. So there you go. That's my real-time ad for Built.
Oh my God, you're just so good. Good job, Sarah.
It's true. It's true. Anyway, so there you go. Why don't we go ahead and move on here? Another Hilton topic that we're just loving on our Hilton friends today. So Hilton extends lifestyle and luxury in Asia Pacific. Now, this is interesting because Hilton's accelerating growth in lifestyle and luxury segments, specifically in Asia Pacific. They've identified it as a key expansion region. A lot of that, there's also higher margin and, obviously the want and need for experience-driven travel. So, this is great to see.
They're saying Hilton will introduce 8 new luxury and lifestyle brands into the market. I'm just going to read off a couple of ones that are going to be coming. So get excited. They got the Nomad Insignia by Hilton will be making their Asia Pacific debuts with Nomad Singapore and the Signia by Hilton in Taiwan. Canopy by Hilton will be making its Southeast Asia debut in Bangkok. I love Bangkok. Very exciting city. Curio Collection and LXR Hotel and Resorts will debut in South Asia in Bangalore. I can't even say it. Bengaluru, India. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, you did.
Waldorf Astoria and Conrad will also debut in Malaysia, and then Tapestry Collection by Hilton will see its Vietnam launch. So they're going to be opening up in several different markets, which we love to see. And again, that lifestyle and luxury seems to be leading the charge. We talk about it many times each month about how that is a segment that really continues to travel and spend money. This is not just a U.S. thing. This is a worldwide.
What's interesting, I love that there was a stat in here that they talked about, like, for example, like Tokyo. So there've been record number of arrivals coming into Japan. I mean, I was supposed to go earlier this year. I'm still going to make it by the end of the year. But for example, luxury hotels in Tokyo, such a big city, accounts for less than 10% of the total hotel availability that they've got. So looking at that, for example, I mean, they've got room and growth, and you've got people that are opting for that. So this is huge. I mean, they're fast growing business hubs, major gateway cities, especially if you go into one of these bigger cities before going on for the rest of your trip. So there's a lot to explore here. And I mean, it only makes sense that they're going to be expanding this way.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they continue to do. This will
Yes.
be good for our guess our brand at the end. Whose brand is it anyway? Because there's a lot of brands we just named and that Hilton has. So maybe it'll help us.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's see. All right. Well, why don't we go on to our next topic here? The new definition of luxury in hotels. Oh my gosh. This was pretty interesting. Did you? I
Yeah, I
feel
read
like
the
you
article
probably have a
here.
lot to say on this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the article is basically saying that there's so many luxury hotels now and so many luxury brands that people really focus on the rate, and it's kind of getting the rate and what is the best value and what do I get once I'm in my room. But then you get into that luxury hotel setting, and then the lobby is kind of like a curated waiting room. There's no one there. It's very quiet. And that the old school luxury from like the old days, like you would come to the lobby for people that you would run into, and saying
Ooh, you might be cutting out there just a little bit. You're cutting out for me, but yeah, I'll kind of chime in on that while your Wi-Fi kind of readjusts.
yeah.
Um, it's interestingly enough because dear friend Bashar Wali kind of made the same argument, and but kind of like in the upper scales that
Yeah.
there's no personality in these properties. The ultra high luxury hotels are basically, kind of as you were saying, sort of pricing out interesting people. Like, so they're kind a little bit they're high luxury, but they're a little generic.
Yeah.
So instead of being so unique and so cool and leaning into that, I think they're kind of and again, I'm sorry I keep quoting you, Bashar, but like they kind of leave it this muddy middle that it's like it could be the same where the same type of traveler would stay at, a Peninsula hotel versus a Amman, but like those, for example, have very different brands and feels. So those should not necessarily apply to the same traveler, and that they should attract different individuals, whether it's more creatives or more, doctors, whatever it is. So yeah, this is so cool because it's also focusing on the community, and so it's like, who are the other guests that are there?
That's the other
I
thing
think,
too, is that hotels really need to invest in activating their public spaces. And I was a big believer in this, and I would always get pushback like, why are you spending $600 on live music? How is that return? How can I track that $500 is returning me this much more in drink spend or whatever it might be? But what you
yeah,
do is you build places that people want to hang out, right? If you can create something fun for guests to do together and meet other guests, then you start building these bonds and people can become friends. Hey, I met Sarah at this cool hotel lobby and we were playing. Like I see Mahjong is blowing up here now and people are looking for
yeah,
places to play in lobbies. And I think there's just something unique that you can do to really create these unique experiences. But, we'll see. The article talks about how the former founder of Soho House is trying to create a new
yeah.
brand. And there's all different type of people trying to get in this space. So
Well,
we'll see what happens.
what I love about the Soho House example is, and this is great. So please listen to this part. It's hyper knowing who your guests are. So Nick Jones from Soho House, he's opening St. Clement in London. Okay, it's 90 rooms. Their rates are going to be about £600 a night.
Mhm.
Whereas the competitors are opening above £1,000 a night. But because Nick knows exactly who his target audiences, exactly who his guests are, for him, it makes more sense to be at the £600 a night versus the £1,000 a night because he's so focused. So again, it's not necessarily just doing the price play, but it's like really knowing who your guests are and curating to them, even down to the price of the room. So that's what I love about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see some of these brands come because I see now as we're starting to develop something how hard it is. Like you have to hit that high number. You have to charge the right
Yeah.
amount to pay back your loans and your investors and the mortgage on the property and all these things. It's really interesting to see how people can balance it out, but still get interesting people on the property. So it becomes a
Yep.
fun place to be.
Because again,
Let's
it's
keep.
all about community. It's all about like who you meet. I mean, how many times people think about like, oh, they go to certain hotels because it's like, ooh, who could you meet there? Whether it's like having a drink in the hotel lobby or having dinner there. So, I mean, this is really kind of it plays into that.
Yes.
You're like 100%. So, all right, let's get on here. Oh, this is a fun one. I'm kidding. Is it? Is it?
I have my perspective on this. Usually I don't get too political, but let's see. Why don't you
Oh,
kick it off for
guys,
us?
let's see. Oh, I can't wait. Will you just like share what you're thinking? It's going to be fine. Anyway, so budget airlines are seeking a $2.5 billion bailout. Budget airlines are basically in talks with the government over financial support, obviously, because of rising fuel costs and operational pressures are driving instability. I mean, when we're talking about this, we're talking about like Frontier, Avelo, Spirit,
Spirit.
the likes. And what their argument is because of the type of businesses they don't have. First of all, they don't have like the whole credit card plays and all of that also like help to the financial infrastructure of their businesses. But because they also have just smaller margins, when the price goes up, like it really makes a difference for them. So I understand how it affects their business model, but why don't you take it from here? Because I can't wait to hear
I
your
just
thoughts.
don't understand. Like I could say that for any kind of company right now. Hotels are struggling with things that are more expensive, right? Every piece of supply in one of them costs more money. If you have a company that is not making money and you're losing money, the company maybe doesn't work. Like that is not a way you should be doing it. Like, oh, we don't have credit cards. Well, you weren't smart enough as leaders to create that for yourself, while all the other big brands decided to do it, right? And you thought, all right, we're going to go cheap and give bad customer service. How many times do we talk about Spirit having, the worst
Yeah.
service out there, and fights and delays and all these things happening here, where you see front desk agents fighting people who are trying to get onto the plane? Like maybe you didn't create the best brand and you didn't do the job that you were supposed to. And so I'm not sure why we're bailing them out. But then I understand others were like, well, we need low cost carriers to be able to do things so that everyone has a chance to fly. Hey, but then maybe it opens up the chance for like my friends at Brightline trains. You try a different way of traveling, which I love going on them. And it would open up some more rail travel.
You're right. It would, sorry, you cut out again a little bit right here. It would, I hear what you're saying with that it could open up different ways of traveling. But let me go ahead and say this. Well, I got a lot to say about this. So first off, we should absolutely have other options to fly, value options for sure. I totally get it. What I find ironic out of it is like they're asking for a bailout from a government who put not only the US, but the entire world in this financial situation. So that's where the irony of it all is. Like we didn't necessarily need to be in this situation, but the powers that be have chosen to put us in this situation and they have not gotten us out of it. And so now businesses are struggling, not just airlines, but obviously hotels and the like. But I would like to say, why don't we make America affordable again? That is my 2 cents.
But here's what I will say about the company. I agree with you. I would like things to be more affordable, but Spirit already filed for bankruptcy once, and now they have to try to do it again. I'm not sure why we have to come in and save a business that's not working. So,
but by the way, also the Spirit deal is completely separate from this. So Spirit's kind of double dipping in this. So Spirit is asking for a bailout, which is completely separate. And then Spirit is part of this organization of the value, of the value airlines. So we definitely need value airlines, but like, well,
and it's everywhere. Also, I'll run it with my vacation, our hospitality management company that I own. Right? All the supplies are more expensive. Everything is more expensive. Delivery fees are being put on the deliveries that we get. Our team members are asking for more money so they can pay for gas to get places that they need to go. Their food got more expensive. So the pay that we were paying and pay raises we have been giving every year are now not enough. So I'm not asking for any bailout. We're going to figure out how to make more money and do these things. So that's where it gets frustrating when you see others that get a handout when you're not getting one as you're trying to make things happen. So I can understand.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is incredibly frustrating. And I do actually in the background, but Will mentioned a really interesting point in the background. If they go out of business, like let's say Spirit goes out of business or whomever, it can open up a new opportunity for a new budget airline to come in its place that maybe would have better guest experiences. Cheaper doesn't always have to be, well, they always say more expensive doesn't always mean that something is better. And similarly, less expensive doesn't mean something absolutely has to be worse. Right. And I think that we should totally be playing in that area. But man, there's a lot going on today, but like people also need to travel and we need to have these routes. And I will say this as a final thing from my end before we move on, but we are also very insulated in the United States. As challenging as it is for us, it is way more challenging in other parts of the world. And I do hope that this is a lovely reminder that we are very interconnected, just as the world is, and not necessarily just culturally, but obviously geopolitically, and then also like financially. And we have to learn how to live together and work together. And
that's the good thing about travel.
Rising tides.
That's a good thing about travel and hospitality. We get to see all areas of the world and meet all different people. We're all just trying to do our best, 99% of us.
Totally.
So let's keep doing it. Big things ahead for everybody. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Oh, great. Quick question here from a LinkedIn user. Your name pop up, but I love this question. Do you not think that if low-cost carriers can't make a go of it, that the large carriers would fill that void with options themselves? There's clearly a market there. Yeah. And if there are no other options, big players wouldn't just let the market sit. Love that question. Could you see, I actually was thinking about, and there's kind of elements of this where you've got like the bigger brands and then they kind of have like the small companies under that they do the small code shares. Like Delta operates like with SkyWest, which is like a small, so kind of what we see with like the Hiltons and the Marriotts and all these like little segmentations.
Yes, it would happen 100%. That's why I don't understand. We can go on and on. I remember, I forget what was the Irish airline. Was it Ryanair? I forget which one, but he said
Ryanair. Yeah.
They said, look, if we could do standing room only, I guarantee I would sell those at $15 a pop. If they were allowed to do standing room only, we would figure it out. So someone will figure it out.
Oh,
but I want to play whose brand is it anyway. I know they're going to rush us off. Come on, Will, let us do it. I want to see. Let's do it.
All right. Yeah.
So back to whose brand is it anyway, where Sarah and I try to guess what brand this hotel belongs to. So Gallery Hotel Collection. And it's one of the big brands.
Or is it M Gallery?
Is it M Gallery or Gallery? I don't know. Or Double Triangle Gallery Hotel Collection. All right, listeners and viewers, who does this brand belong to? I'm going with, we talked about Hilton all day today. I'm going to guess Hilton. I have no idea.
I will, dude, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to say Accor. I'll just say Accor.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What?
Yeah. Good job, Sarah.
Oh my gosh.
We got, is it M Gallery? Let's look at their website here. I always like to do that right after. We got Paul guessing. You already lost. It's Accor. M Gallery Hotels.
Oh my gosh.
There it is. M Gallery. Exclusive M Gallery suites, luxury in the heart of Athens.
You know, the logo looked very European to me. So that's why I did that.
That's right. So they have hotels across Europe: France, Greece, Italy, Morocco, Turkey, Poland, Switzerland, Thailand, Vietnam, Australia, New Zealand.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. We got mgallery.accor.com. They got some cool brands there. Good job.
Very cool. Woo! Oh my gosh. What a show. That gets us excited every time. By the way, I hope you guys enjoyed today. I know that we did. We covered a lot of great topics. Obviously, I mean, you know, we're going to be talking about AI until we're blue in the face, we're going to be talking about AI until we have chips implanted in us and we become, you know, cyborgs. Is that what a half human, half robot is? Whatever. Wow. I can't believe I knew that. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about AI until we're blue in the face, but here we are on the cutting edge of it. Hopefully you enjoyed. And thank you guys, by the way, for the thoughtful comments and questions. Always great. So Sarah keeps swearing. Not all the time, but appreciate it, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah. And shout out to our sponsors, Verbo. Make sure to check out Verbo and Built. If you haven't yet, make sure to get yourself a Built card. And then as always, the show's free. Make sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. There's not many things in life that are free except subscribing to our show. So make sure to do that today. And if you found some value in it, make sure to share it with a friend. You could do it right now. Just hit pause, send that over to one of your friends. They're going to enjoy it as well. But hey, until next week, Sarah.
Stay hospitable.